Good morning, people. Welcome back to Mufc Realist TV and Mick Ruby with today's daily exclusive transfer bomber. We're going to talk about breaking news that I've been receiving over the night. As recruitment never sleeps, and so doesn't the transfer window. We are entering 1st of August, and we have some groundbreaking news that a bid is expecting soon for Benjamin Šeško. As previously reported, Manchester United had talks with Benjamin Šeško's agent Elvis Bosanovic, and there's been some numerous intense negotiations and talks with Christopher Vevell and chief negotiation Matt Hargreaves. So we do expect a bid coming in soon, but stick around for that one. We're going to talk about that because Fabrizio Romano in the last hour also dropped something very interesting. Guys, this is Mick Ruby as per usual. MFC Realist TV, do me a massive favor before we continue with this video and the stories. Do me a massive favor, like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell button so you never miss when I go live or post a video. Let's send this transfer bullet regarding Benjamin Šeško. Send it right now.
And Garnacho!
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Will you be in the dugout at Old Trafford on Sunday? I will be here. Definitely. I don't know.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go, people. Welcome back for tuning in for MFC Realist TV. I'm going to give you some exclusive information that I've received over the night. As I mentioned, recruitment never sleeps, and so doesn't the transfer window. We are now entering 4 weeks left of the transfer window, and this is the 1st of August. Guys, do me a massive favor, do not forget to like and subscribe because we're going to talk about the man of the hour right here, right now. Negotiations, bid, Benjamin Šeško, what is going on? Newcastle is out of the race. Newcastle are now pivoting towards another striker option, which is unfortunately the one that we were linked to, Ollie Watkins, but also Strand Larsen as well, guys. Let's start with the news that I received, and it's a kind of a sequence of news, and we're also going to look into what Fabrizio Romano has also reiterated. Let's bring this to the stage, people. Let's add this to the stage. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk about this cool and composed in chronological order. Let's go. Let's put this to the stage, and here we go. Add this to the stage. Right. As per tweeted, breaking bid expected very, very soon for Benjamin Šeško. As previously reported, if you have been following me on my timeline, you can clearly see that back in May, I basically did a tweet that has over 100 retweets and likes. Watch this space, who will become an Arsenal player and who will pick Manchester United. And of course, there's a picture of Benjamin Šeško and Victor Gyökeres. By the way, Victor Gyökeres had 10 minutes under Arteta yesterday and they didn't look good. Why is it so? Well, first and foremost, I am a Manchester United fan and also be lucky to work with this football correspondence for the past 10 years. I've been an intermediate in the agency side, so I tend to get my sources directly from the agency side, but also cross-checking with tier 1 journalists as well. Let's continue with the story, Mick, and let's continue. So basically, watch this space. Breaking bid expected soon. As previously reported, Manchester United have held several meetings in the recent week with Benjamin Šeško agent Elvis Bosanovic. Sesko said yes already to United's proposal last Friday. Personal terms for a 5-year contract has already been agreed and put on the table. A club-to-club negotiation delegation led by chief negotiator Matt Hargreaves and Christopher Vevell held positive talks with RB Leipzig this week to agree the structure of the deal. Sesko only wants Manchester United, a formal bid expecting to come the next coming days. And that is where we stand at the moment, people. This is very exciting news, but I want to also continue on the thread that I posted for you to understand where we are with the bid and what's been developing over the past couple of weeks. I want to add on Fabrizio Romano to this stage as well, as Fabrizio is kind of milked it out. Fabrizio knows exactly what I do know as well. So let's add Fabrizio Romano to this stage and what he had to say, to be honest. Hang on a second, bear with me. So Fabrizio Romano has in the past hour tweeted again, Manchester United informed RB Leipzig about the plan to bid for Benjamin Šeško, also to show evidence to the player that he is the top priority and new striker now. Sesko will decide in the next coming days with Manchester United and Newcastle proposal on the table, guys. And I just basically replied to Fabrizio Romano to say, Fabrizio, you already know what I know, that Manchester United have already put a table, already had agreement with Benjamin Šeško. And that is pretty much Fabrizio Romano kind of building up to the story to here we go. Because if you really understand what is going on, Manchester United would never go into club-to-club negotiations without even Benjamin Šeško agreeing to the personal terms and said yes to the project. And now, of course, as I've been getting exclusive information that Matt Hargreaves and also Christopher Wells has been down there negotiating over the past couple of days to understand what is the structure of the deal. So Fabrizio Romano is kind of building up the crescendo to the here we go. But the changes is there. Negotiations and a bit expected this coming week. 100%, because Manchester United wants to have Benjamin Šeško in the opening game against Arsenal. And that is what's going on. So big up to Fabrizio Romano that has also the finger on the pulse. And big up also to David Ornstein that will come out to say exactly to confirm everything that's going on. But however, let's continue on what I have been saying as well. So this is a thread that I've been saying that basically, I'm just going to add this to the stage as well. Just in earlier, like I said, club-to-club negotiations between Manchester United, and RB Leipzig advanced over Sesko, who only wants Manchester United. Newcastle are now shifting the focus to Watkins and Strand Larsen. There's a positive feeling and the deal can be wrapped up very quickly between Manchester United and RBL as Sesko before the opening game versus Arsenal. So basically, Benjamin Šeško has already said yes. And let me just go into the chronological timeline. If you remember the first game where we actually played Leeds in Stockholm, Sweden, there was a meeting held between Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Omar Barada and Wilcox. And this was pretty much where they actually gave the green light. And may I say so that Newcastle has kind of been the instigator or the sporting director for Manchester United, because Manchester United moved very quickly on Mbeumo, where actually Newcastle were getting the gist that they were going for Johan Wissa. That triggered Manchester United to pull the trigger. But there was then also, we heard now that, since Newcastle entered the race for Benjamin Šeško, they were willing to pay as much as it takes, but they are willing to sort of speak to RB Leipzig first to meet the demands, to throw money at it, but they've never sort of activated Benjamin Šeško. Benjamin Šeško have the proposal on the table, but Benjamin Šeško have never said yes to Newcastle. He only wants Manchester United. Now, going back to that week, basically, Christopher Vevell was down and meeting with the Benjamin Šeško's agent, Elvis Bosanovic, in Madrid to understand what is the structure of the deal, what can be made. And of course, you hear stories that RB Leipzig are open to listen to, swaps with the dream striker, which is Rasmus Højlund. But Manchester United don't really need to sell Rasmus Højlund. The plan is to bring in Sesko for the longevity. Of course, they looked at Ollie Watkins, but they kind of had these meetings before they pulled the trigger to go all in for Sesko, to say that Watkins is not attainable. This is not what fits within the mold, what we want to build. We see Benjamin Šeško as the long-term plan, because at the end of the day, we have enough Premier League proven players that we've recruited in, and that was always going to be the plan before the end of the first financial PSR year, to get Cunha over the line and to get Mbeumo. And then based on that, they could always say which striker will fit the overall system. And that is Benjamin Šeško. Now, of course, Benjamin Šeško has been always on Manchester United radar. It goes back to 2018. And let me tell you this very important news, that back in January, the January window, Elvis Bosanovic, which is the agent of Benjamin Šeško, did speak to Manchester United. He was at Carrington, he was at Mayfair, but he also spoke to Chelsea and also spoke to Arsenal. Now, there was never sort of a direct negotiations or talks with Newcastle, which they don't really have the connection with the agent and RBL. Newcastle just came in recently into the race because they're desperate to get a striker. They know they can lose out on Alexander Isak. But however, back then, Chelsea told Bosanovic that we are focused on getting Victor Osimhen off the line, but that never happened. And Manchester United told that we are now not looking to strengthen now in January, so we will actually look at Benjamin Šeško come the summer. Arsenal was the only one showing interest at that point of time, and however, Andrea Berta came in that mid-season, and that's why you've seen that Berta lined up both Sesko and Gyökeres, because they knew that Gyökeres was also part of, Ruben Amorim's plan, and also Liam Delap was part of the plan. So make no mistakes, Sesko has always been scouted by Manchester United, and they decided very, very fast to pull the trigger. Now, as per my understanding, personal terms is not a problem. It's going to be a 5-year contract. What Manchester United is trying to do, it's also thanks to Chelsea in this instant, because Chelsea is going in advanced talks for no other than Xavi Simons. Now, the situation with RBL, if Arsenal will only wait, because RB Leipzig needed to raise about 100 million because they didn't make the Europa League or Champions League. So basically they were looking at 2 assets that they could sell, which was Benjamin Šeško and Xavi Simons. And back then, when Arsenal were bidding for Sesko, they were adamant to stick on 80 million price tag. Now they are sort of having advanced talks with Chelsea regarding Xavi Simons. They are more lenient in terms of they know they can achieve the target of 100 million. So Manchester United are in the driving seat, and I believe what I've been told it's going to be around 60 million pounds, or potentially offer a full package of 64 million, similar to what we have done with Mbeumo and Cunha as well, adding on the total package of installments as well. Now, installments can be anything like easy attainable, but clubs always look to negotiate on the fixed terms. So I do expect Benjamin Šeško, here we go, very, very soon, because this deal is now picking up pace. We had, delegations of Christopher Vivell and chief negotiator Mark Hargreaves coming back to Manchester, understanding, negotiating the structure of the deal. Of course, they talked about having Rasmus Højlund part of a potential swap deal, but I also hear that Manchester United are willing to keep Rasmus Højlund and play both 2 strikers, because we don't really have a striker pool at the end of the day. Xerxes is not really a striker. He's a hybrid 10, number 9. We have plenty of number 10s, and at the moment, what Manchester United plan is to rotate Rasmus Højlund with Benjamin Šeško. Guys, this is going to be very interesting. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. There'll be more updates coming by the end of the day, but leave your comments in the non-comment section below. Manchester United, as per se, wants to wrap this up quickly. We will not see a negotiation what we did for Mbeumo, because the window shuts in 4 weeks. They want to sort of, my understanding, they want to sort of close this as quick as possible. So we might have a here we go on this Sunday, on coming week after, depends on how these negotiations are, progressing, and how Manchester United are coming to terms with RBL regarding structuring the deal. It's going to be a 5-year contract for Benjamin Šeško, and based on that, with negotiations with RB Leipzig group, they're going to sort of try to do things in amortization installments, 3 to 4 years installment plan for Benjamin Šeško. Let's see, let's follow up this very, very carefully. It's going to be very interesting days. Keep your eyes on the price. Benjamin Šeško, as I believe, will be a Manchester United player. Glory, glory, Manchester United. And do not forget to do what? Like and subscribe. And by the way, Manchester United don't need to sell players, as I've been saying on this channel for at least a couple of weeks. But the question is, what is going on with Garnacho? I don't really know. But Chelsea definitely are stalling, definitely trying to sort of wait to the end of the window to get a better price. It's true that Chelsea are evaluating Garnacho on 13 million, but Manchester United is standing firm of at least 50 million pounds. Glory, glory, Manchester United. I'm out of here. Send this transfer bullet away.